Let's go. I'm better than ever, they never been better than I. Regarded the hardest and I ain't even reaching my prime. They hate that I'm great and they faking I'm real as they come. So sit back and let me show you how this shit is done. My composition, my propositions, I'm raping the system. I'm killing the competition and all of y'all are my victims. Eyes and oohs as I'm ripping the instrumental, lyrical, individual, never been sentimental. I'm so hot every time that beat drop, and when I say I'm raping the system.
What is good, boxing fans and gamers? Welcome to the Thomas and Max Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's your boy Fight Night's finest, the Sophie commentator, bring you guys a WBO title match here with Arachnidsoul.
We see the two individuals making their entrance down to the ring. Sunday night fights. This will be a WBO World Championship bout. This is a league fight. Dave going in with 8 fights already under his belt. He's 6-2 as of tonight. 3 of those fights ended by way of Dave dropping someone with that knockout. On the other hand, you hear MitiaMatic and you also hear that opening bell. MitiaMatic going in with no record, carrying in that WBO belt from the old league format, Fight Night. This is the feeling out round. We can't expect to see too much action here, so let's take the fans, let's take the viewers, let's take the patrons through some of the new rules of the new league setup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup here to see who and how this match starts up. But from coming over the old league, as you mentioned, MitiaMatic carrying over that WBO championship. Some people didn't think he deserved that WBC title that he is now carrying. The former IBF belt holder now moving up to the WBO and getting his first real test, testing it against Davedaripped. Those new league rules that you touched on. No longer will there be any spamming. No longer will there be any rude chat to one another in the chat room. And also, no longer will there be any nonsense tolerated. They also have a new point system in how the league has been set up, where you got to climb that ladder by getting some points, and Davedaripped is stunned by a straight right hand. It was the straight right hand that came in and stunned Davedaripped. He plays good defense. He's looking to recover now as MitiaMatic bobs in and out in order to try to close that gap.
Now, so much of the time in professional boxing, a boxer isn't considered a true champion just by winning the belt. There are so many people that to this day in 2014 do not consider you a real champion until you've defended that belt. With these new league rules, with the brackets being reset, and the champions coming into the new league keeping their belts, they might have won those belts under the old rules that allowed spamming, under the old rules that would allow you to build your record and pad your record with lower ranked fighters. It is now and now only that it is more important than ever that you guys tune in every week. You watch these league fights. They mean more, and these wins and losses are more sincere than ever. Tonight, MitiaMatic looks to show the world, that he is the best fighter in this league, and he can do so by doing it by beating Davedaripped.
Yeah, Davedaripped coming in as the #2 contender. Also, look out for Louisiana versus Turn Up 3000 for that WBC title match. We will look to see some footage from that later on tonight. But back into round number 2. It was a dominating performance so far by Mr. MitiaMatic, your WBO champion, in round number 1. Being able to connect with some of those jabs, being able to connect with those combinations, being able to punch the punches together, and also stun the Rip one as they continue on in round number 2.
And let's identify the fighters. Obviously, MitiaMatic coming in tonight in the long black sequin trunks, in the white trunks, with that black trip. Ooh, yeah, brother. A little Macho Man Randy Savage tassel hanging off the side. It's your challenger. It's Davedaripped.
Yeah, this ought to be an interesting match as we've seen a very technically sound match from both fighters. We're seeing MitiaMatic trying to use that outside a little bit more here in round number 2 from the aggressive inside fighting style he brought in round number 1. Davedaripped trying to tighten up that defense and work downstairs to the bottom. Let's talk about some of these problems both of these guys have had in the past. And it's a similar problem, and it's a severe problem. Both of these guys have stamina management issues. Both of these guys' endurance levels can be questioned in long 12-round fights.
Well, I gotta be real honest with you. It was a couple of days ago that I had the pleasure of sitting down and watching a slug fight. I mean, if you put a couple of jerseys on these guys, maybe Ottawa and Toronto Maple Leaf jerseys, it would have been that Queensberry-style rules hockey fight. It was Davedaripped, and it was Slong Cut. If you have not seen that fight, look for it on Dave's channel. These two, center ring, from round number 1, slugged it out, and I think that's exactly what you were talking about, Fight Night. It's going to be interesting here tonight to see who can maintain their cardio, their stamina, who can stay in it a little bit longer. It's going to take that 60-minute man to come out on top tonight and walk out with that championship belt.
Both of these guys look like they are prepared to go the distance. We've seen these guys sparring. We see these people constantly trying to be active in the league. The new rules also encourage league members to be active if you want to get those points. The new league member rules also allow you to get points regardless win or loss. And we're seeing that here tonight. The results of the hard work of Davedaripped, being able to climb that ladder, being able to outwork some of those other league fights, and being able to capture 6 out of his 8 fights with a victory. So we're seeing here tonight a prime Davedaripped looking to capture that WBO title, looking to make a statement here tonight to let people know, hey, not only am I a manager, not only am I an administrator, not only is this my league, but it's also this time for me to step up in the ring and show everybody what it is that I'm about.
Guys are going to complain. Guys are going to gripe. Hell, I'll use the word guys are going to bitch when you're in upper management and you're getting title shots. The only way to settle that is by knocking people out. Dave has done that. Dave has that on his resume. Dave coming into this title match tonight, and if he wins that champion, knowing Dave, knowing how respectable he is, knowing how honorable he is, I am sure he will not be a paper champion. He will be a fighting champion. Let's continue to watch this fight as we continue into the last 30 seconds of round number 3. Let's see how the rest of this thing plays out.
I will now attempt to call the action that is going on in this ring. We see Davedaripped continuously trying to work the body as he connected moments ago with a sidestep right uppercut, connecting with the jaw of MitiaMatic. And after that punch, he wants no more of Davedaripped for the rest of this round. We see that footwork come into play. And we see the end of round number 3, a strong showcasing for MitiaMatic so far, being able to connect with those combinations, being able to outbox the Davedaripped, being able to out-counter the Davedaripped, being able to outwork the Davedaripped as he captures those first 3 rounds on Arachnidsoul's scorecard.
Now, in this league and hell, in this game, that sidestep uppercut seems to be almost the thorn in the tiger's claw. It is in this game. It is part of professional boxing. There's nothing wrong with using it. Fight Night, your experience at this game, can you explain to me the difference between a guy using a sidestep uppercut and a guy spamming a sidestep uppercut?
That's a valiant point, Arachnid. Those guys who love to abuse that sidestep uppercut, we see it about 5 or 4 times in a row. Just, hey, abusing that sidestep, periodly. As you just see a guy constantly looking to get those cheap counters, constantly stepping in either direction in order to try to catch himself a counter punch towards the head. What we're seeing from MitiaMatic tonight is a guy who's calculating that sidestep, who's anticipating those punches coming from the Davedaripped, trying to time that counter punch as he does so there with another right uppercut as it connects with the jaw of Davedaripped. It was the sidestep right uppercut, not the left, but the right uppercut that was able to push the Rip One back and also allow MitiaMatic to land a two-piece combination. Davedaripped one counters downstairs with a straight right hand and then counters later on with that left hook downstairs to the body. One of his signatures. One of those punches that he is known for on a regular basis. If you're fighting the Rip One, he's bringing those counters downstairs to the body.
We're seeing the sweet science on display, as you just said. We're seeing the punching, the counter punching. We are starting to see, now these aren't long combos, but we are starting to see the 1-2, maybe 1-2-3 combos here. These guys turning up the heat right here in round number 4.
And the reason why we're seeing those counter punches, we're seeing those carefully placed attacks, as both of these guys are amazing counter punchers. Both of these guys can sidestep you in an instant, bob and weave in an instant, backstep you in an instant, and the next thing you know is the ones that always hurts is those punches that you don't see because you're so busy trying to connect that offense. If you throw a 5-punch combination here tonight, you will pay the price. And I will say it again, you will pay the price, whether it's a knockdown, whether it's a knockout, whether it's a guy maybe causing a cut over the right side of his face, over that eye, a severe cut that can end up doing a lot of damage. We're seeing single shots, shots that are at a high pace and high tempo being countered as MitiaMatic landed that power straight counter to the head moments ago.
We are live once again in Las Vegas, Nevada, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, UNLV, right here at the Thomas and Mack Center. You've got gambling, you've got showgirls, you've got everything under the sun, and you've chose to sit at home and watch on pay-per-view an awesome night of professional boxing. We thank you for that. Please enjoy the rest of the fight as these two continue in round number 5.
We're now seeing MitiaMatic starting to calculate that aggression, starting to land even more counters than before. Davedaripped one trying to pick up the pace, but is met by those straight right hands to the head every single time he tries to go in. And we're also seeing those counters from Davedaripped one downstairs to the body. It's that classic matchup, the body puncher versus the head puncher. We're seeing the power puncher versus the sharp puncher. We're seeing the inside brawler versus the boxer here tonight, and this is no better than it can ever get. We're seeing all the ins and outs of the games. We're seeing the inside. We're seeing that mid-range game. We're seeing the outside. We're seeing the counter punches. We're seeing the pure aggression from both of these men in the ring here tonight. As we come down to the last 15 seconds, Lag Spike comes in real quick. Davedaripped one now trying to pull on the pressure. Counters with a straight right hand downstairs, and now we are watching MitiaMatic put on some fancy defense at the end of round number 5. Davedaripped one looking to have a better showcasing in that round, looking to land more punches, and was countered by MitiaMatic with those straight right hands, those sidestep uppercuts, and those sidestep hooks to the head at the end of round number 5 as we jump into round number 6.
Now, if you're a judge of professional boxing, you sit there, you look at this punch stats, you look at all the information coming out of every fight, you have almost every tool needed to get into that ring and knock someone out, except you are not yourself a professional fighter, though you have scouted the matches. Then we talk about Dave, a man who not only runs the league, but watches all the matches, even if he's not doing it on paper, even if he's not doing it on his computer, on his tablet, on his smartphone, in his head, involuntarily or voluntarily. Every week he's running that scouting report. He's bringing that scouting report into the ring, and unlike the judges, he actually is a professional fighter in this league. Davedaripped one, I believe, has a tremendous advantage over a lot of fighters in this league. For that reason, the only thing that can overcome that is sheer talent, sheer ability, sheer prowess. And does MitiaMatic have those attributes here tonight?
He has those attributes. You're seeing, though, from Dave, that work rate picking up. We're seeing MitiaMatic not being as accurate as before. We're seeing that Rocky Marciano, Esther Charles type fight from Davedaripped one here tonight. Pressing that action, getting in that chest. being able to take away what MitiaMatic does best. Hey, not letting him get off those counters anymore. We're seeing a different Davedaripped one. We're seeing that body work that he put on early on starting to take its effect. MitiaMatic counters with a right hand upstairs to the head of Davedaripped one, clocking his face to the side, and we're now seeing Davedaripped one applying that pressure, not connecting with many of these punches, but he is trying. MitiaMatic landing that straight right hand and landing it once more. The calculated attack is back from MitiaMatic in the last 30 seconds of this round, but this is a round I would give to the Rip one.
Well, I'm going to say this. The opening rounds of this fight, like I said, Queensberry style, it was a slugfest. And what we have just witnessed, I believe, over the past 45 seconds to minute and a half, once again, it's that sweet science. It's the technique, it's the technical ability of boxing. And the guys showing respect to one another by backing off a little bit, playing a little bit more defense and slightly less offense. I have to say, I'm more impressed with the fighters in the round that just concluded than the previous rounds. Tremendous job by both athletes here tonight.
We're seeing those adjustments starting to take place. A match that MitiaMatic owned in the first 4 rounds of this fight. We're now seeing the Rip one starting to make one of those uber sweaty comebacks as he looks to continue to press the action, and we're seeing a MitiaMatic that's gonna counter with those punches, gonna land those headshots, trying to outpoint his man on the outside, but not afraid to sit down and bite on his punches, being able to connect with the headshots, being able to connect with those uppercuts. As we see the left uppercut lands again, Davedaripped one tries to go downstairs to the body in order to make up for some of that work being done by MitiaMatic at the head. But what we do need to question right now, Arachnid, what we need to think in our heads is if this endurance for MitiaMatic can keep up with the outrageous, ruthless, sadistic body work that Davedaripped one has been putting in here tonight.
And you have to wonder if maybe this was a strategy that's been used against Dave in the past. I mean, one kind of criticism I would have for Dave as a fighter, and how I'm not a fighter and he's been very successful, so I can't criticize him too much, but he does go out balls to the wall from round number 1. And I wonder if other fighters have seen that and worked his body to drain that stamina even faster. And I wonder if over time Dave has seen that strategy, learned how to protect himself from that strategy, and also learned offensively how to apply that strategy to like-minded fighters. Is that one of the game plans of Davedaripped one here tonight, Fight Night?
That's definitely one of the game plans. We've seen this time and time. Hey, we've seen it against me. Fight Night's Finest versus Davedaripped one. Davedaripped one versus AC Carnage. We've seen this in many of Dave's previous fights. We've seen it in goddamn near every fight that he's ever fought. And it's being effective here tonight. We're seeing that work rate starting to decrease for MitiaMatic. Those 3-4 punch combinations have started to come to an halt. We're seeing those single shots. We're seeing that one straight. We're seeing that one side step uppercut. We might see the double jab every now and again, but that work rate has fallen off from the first 5 rounds that we've seen from MitiaMatic.
And let's talk about the champion's edge, the champion's advantage. It was right before we came into this round that we saw the judges' scorecards, often controversial, but I do agree with them. Very evenly matched. This far overall, there's only 1 point separating these two fighters. When you talk about the champion's edge, the champion's advantage, basically what that means is the champion does not have to win a fight. He's automatically the champion. All he has to do is prevent himself from losing. If he can go out of this match without getting dropped, without being knocked out, without being the 4th KO on the record of Davedaripped one in this new league, MitiaMatic by default, with having an awesome showing, will retain his WBO World Championship.
We've seen this in many fights with many fighters. The Pernell Whitakers who have been robbed throughout history. The Muhammad Alis that have been robbed throughout history. Hey, we saw it a couple of months ago with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Brian Vera. Brian Vera being absolutely robbed in that fight. We've seen it with Sergio Martinez versus Martin Murray. We've seen him get robbed in that fight. We've seen many guys we see robbery on the night just because of the guy being the champion. I don't think we're going to see that tonight. We don't see that in this league. What we see is pure boxing. We see the guy who gets the win deserve that win. He's going to earn that win. He's going to work for that win. He's going to lay out those combinations. He's going to knock his man out if he has to. He's going to make sure that he does everything he can to the last bell rings. And that's exactly the fight that MitiaMatic has given us as we enter into this 9th round.
I have to fully agree with you. MitiaMatic versus Davedaripped. This is the first match once again for MitiaMatic in this new league. And if this is a sign of things to come, MitiaMatic is an individual you fans are going to want to keep your eyes on. We are in round number 12, or excuse me, round number 8 of a potential 12. It feels like we've seen enough punches being thrown that we should be in round 12. Let's see how the rest of this plays out. Let's see if MitiaMatic can come back, can end this thing with a knockout, and let's see if Davedaripped can add that extra knockout to his record.
It's going to be interesting to see as they continue to slug it out in the center of the ring. MitiaMatic back is being put to those ropes, but that straight right hand got pedaled to the metal to the face of Davedaripped. We see Davedaripped now on the ropes. He counters with one of his signatures. That right hook just might have been enough to get MitiaMatic's attention to back off. And hell, if that wasn't enough, that left uppercut sure did do it. We see MitiaMatic with the counter straight right hand upstairs to the head of Davedaripped. Davedaripped now starting to get into the chest, starting to smother some of those punches that MitiaMatic is putting out, trying to make sure he gets those snaps out of those punches with those combinations, confusing the defense of MitiaMatic with those combinations. We're seeing the highs and lows. We're seeing those overhands connect. We're seeing that side step right uppercut connect once again. MitiaMatic, an absolute animal in the ring here tonight.
You have to give Davedaripped credit for the past 30 to 45 seconds. It was MitiaMatic stunning his opponent. Davedaripped had the whereabouts, had the mindset to put his helmet on, to get that guard up and to back up against the ropes. That's not running. That's just sweet science. That's just smart boxing.
It's definitely not running. We're not seeing him running a track meet here tonight. We're seeing a Davedaripped prime and ready to go. In the chest most of the match. If he's not on the chest, hey, he's on the outside using that jab. Whatever it takes, he's going to make sure he has a punch out. Trying to make sure that at all times his man knows that he's there. Even though MitiaMatic is the champion, he's in for one hell of a fight here tonight as we enter into round number 10. As we enter into more close to that 2-minute mark. Davedaripped trying to press the action once more here in this round. We're seeing those left uppercuts, the Dragon Slayer from MitiaMatic, and fights against Fight Night's Finest, and many other fights that he has fought in this league.
I have to agree with you on everything you just said. This has been a tremendous fight. Once again, the new league rules, the new format. You cannot pad your record by taking on rookies. You, yes, will get a couple of points for beating a greenhorn, but it's those champions, those contenders, even those mid-level cards that are going to get you those points, that are going to allow you to rank up. And when you feel you've got the balls, when you feel you've got the intertesticular fortitude to step into that ring with a champion, you will be ready, and you will not be gypped out of a fair fight, and the fans will not be gypped out of an entertaining fight.
FightNightTourneys.formation.com is the site to sign up. Make sure you get over there if you feel you can validate yourself as one of the best sim fighters to ever play Fight Night Champion on the PS3. What we're seeing here is Davedaripped validating himself as a challenger, showing the champion and MitiaMatic that those overhand rights are going to be here all night, that counter left hook downstairs to the body is going to be here all night, that jab will be in his face, as we're seeing some fancy footwork from MitiaMatic here in the last 30 seconds of round number 10. We're seeing him being able to drop his hands and watch the Ripped miss all over the place. The Ripped might have had his equilibrium messed up by one of those right hooks to the side of the ear. That equilibrium and balance must have been the reason why he was missing so many punches at the end of round number 10. And what we are seeing is a Davedaripped one who was ready, who was primed to be the challenger. And what we're seeing is a game MitiaMatic, but cannot match the work rate of Davedaripped one.
I have to be honest with you. I talked earlier about paper champions. I talked earlier about the champion's advantage and the pressure on a champion to win a fight decisively and not just go home with a 1 or 2 point advantage. I believe tonight that if Davedaripped one, and yes, unless MitiaMatic can turn it around, Davedaripped one, I believe, will become the new champion. I believe if Davedaripped one can win tonight with the points, with the boxing we've seen, with the smart technique, I don't think anyone's going to gripe about it. One hell of a main event right here from sunny Las Vegas here tonight.
It's been a great fight. It's been a great night of fights, and it's been a great effort by the champion MitiaMatic. And it's also been a hell of an effort by Davedaripped one looking to take over this fight. And hell, he has done it after some messed up 3 rounds where MitiaMatic showed that he can outbox him, show that he can outwork him. But like we talked about earlier with that body work, it's been the body work that has slowed down MitiaMatic, where we're not seeing that same snap in those punches. That right uppercut isn't coming out as clean as it was coming before. It's not coming as fast as it was coming before. As you can see, Davedaripped one able to anticipate every punch as he shows some beautiful head work here. Davedaripped one, a prime Davedaripped one, your number 2 contender, has shown that he is ready to take this WBO championship. And hell, if MitiaMatic can possibly stun him again, anything is still possible.
Oh yeah, MitiaMatic had him rocked a couple of rounds ago. We talked about Dave covering up, getting that guard up, putting the helmet up. It would have taken one hook. It would have taken one uppercut, maybe a properly placed body shot to drop Dave. Those potential possibilities are still on the table. Let's see what happens here. There's not much time left in this fight. It is do or die time for MitiaMatic if he wants to walk out and retain that world championship.
What we're seeing right now, what we need to see for MitiaMatic as he starts to come towards the inside. He can't rely on that boxing on the outside anymore. He cannot afford to pull a Curtis Stevens here tonight. He cannot afford to pull a Martin Murray versus Sergio Martinez where he can afford to relax in the 12th round. What we need to see is shades of Jean Pascal versus Lucas Mbute. What we need to see is Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Sergio Martinez. What we need to see is Rigondeaux versus Donaire. We need to see that burst of energy. We need to see that power of the champion come forth in round number 12. No more clean boxing. We need to see the dirty Arturo Gotti Ward versus Arturo Gotti fight. What we need to see is that kind of action if he wants to capture this WBO, actually retain this WBO title. Excuse me.
I have to give both of these guys credit for engaging so much here in round number 12 for 2 different reasons. First of all, Davedaripped one, he pretty much has the points. It would be really easy for him to run. He's been rocked before. It'd be very easy for him to not take that risk of getting rocked again. On the other hand, MitiaMatic, that fighting spirit, that never say die attitude. We talked about how he rocked the champion before. He's engaging because he knows the points won't be there, but the combo might. He might be able to drop Davedaripped one. Let's stay with it. Let's see what happens. One hell of a fight, and we are not even nearly done here.
I will call the last 10 seconds of action. MitiaMatic connects with a left uppercut. Davedaripped one misses with a 1-2 and then misses with a 3-punch combination. Instead of fighting, MitiaMatic puts his hands up. That is it. That is done. He has lost this fight. That is not the heart of a champion. We've seen a MitiaMatic who was not ready to take that belt, who did not show that effort in that final round, and he has lost his WBO championship. Davedaripped one, your new WBO title holder. Thank you for watching and good night.